So it seems that Mecha has been playing the biggest game of chess on Powerbook 2 Ghost this season so far, and he's been teaching Kane how to play the game. We saw Kane putting Ramirez's badge in a drawer in Tariq's room. Now whose drawer it could be, we'll get to that later on in this video, but we are yet to witness the biggest chess move on Powerbook 2 Ghost Season 2, and that's gonna come from Tariq St. Patrick. After episode 4, everything seems to be going against Tariq, literally everything, but one thing you never do is go against the St. Patrick, and this is where Kane sealed his own fate, in my opinion. When Ghost's back was against the wall a number of times in Power, where it seemed like all hope was lost, we saw him overcome pretty much everything, but he definitely needed the help of others around him, just like Tariq does. But Tariq also needs to tap in to his inner ghost, but before he does, I do see him facing more troubles before this happens. The walls will close in on him before he really has to think, what would Dad do in this situation? Or rather, what would Ghost do in this situation? And this is what is meant by Ghosts Never Die. I want to rewind it back to a quote I gave you guys from Michael Rainey Jr.'s interview before the season started, where he said, "You're going to see the true definition of that line, meaning Ghosts never die." That's going to unfold this season. I hope they, which is us the fans, take away how crazy this stuff is and how heavy we're coming. I hope everyone's ready. And we know they're coming in heavy based on what we saw in episode 4, but we're going to focus more on Kane's move and Tariq's troubles, including the Rolex, his grandma, and Kamal Tate, how Kane is forcing Tariq's hand, and how things are going to get worse for Tariq before he really starts to think like Ghost and starts making Ghost-like moves. But let's start with how this all turned from Kane and Tariq working together to make sure they stayed out of prison, to Kane planting Ramirez's badge in Tariq's room. Now their original plan was to frame Jabari's murder on Ramirez, but the thing is, Detective Whitman, he has this weird obsession with Zeke. He was taking away the attention from the gun that was found at the scene of the crime and focusing more on the relationship that Carrie had with Zeke, and thought it was a jealousy kill, even though Zeke had an alibi which showed him at a bodega at the time of Jabari's death. He then came up with a theory that Zeke paid Ramirez to kill Jabari instead. So with that being said, this forced Monet's hand, and she forced Kane to let the police find Jabari's body, because this would have cleared up Ramirez was killed before Jabari, and in essence, throw Whitman's theory out the window. But in return, it would also put Kane in danger, because he was the one who shot and killed Ramirez. So he knew he had to leave town, because the streets were going to be hot. But this is where we saw Mecha teaching Kane how to move and play the game of chess by pinning it on someone else. Now Kane is a very valuable member to Mecha's organization, for reasons which Kane doesn't know, which of course was revealed to us in episode 4. Now we also know that the police were conducting a narcotics investigation on campus because of the GTG death at Stansfield and them trying to connect the dots. So Whitman put Kamal Tate in charge of this, interviewing the students and carrying out the searches, so we can expect Tariq and Braden's room to be searched as well. But the question is, whose drawer did he really put the badge in? Was it Braden's or was it Tariq's? Because we saw the Xbox controller and we all know who the Xbox belongs to, and that's Braden. And this is where his loyalty will really be tested. His character was described as loyalty before the season started, and it's just a matter of who finds the badge first. That's the question. Does Tariq find it? Does Braden find it? Or do the cops find it, who are carrying out the searches? If Tariq and Braden find the badge first, then he'll be able to make Braden see sense that Kane isn't the person he thinks he is, because he was only getting close to Braden to frame him for Ramirez's death. And this is where he can convince Braden that they need to bring Kane down, but it only works if there's trust. Trust and loyalty is going to be huge, as it always is in Power, but just like how Ghost and Tommy always used to fight, they always used to come back together for the greater good. For example, how they came together to take down Milan, it required a lot of trust and loyalty, and this is where Tariq can have Braden use the 48 laws of power that Kane is using against him, pose as a friend and work as a spy, and concealing his intentions, because this is in essence what Kane is doing to Braden, but he just can't see it. Kane is using Law 33, using Braden's thumbscrew against him, and he brought to the forefront of Braden's mind how Tariq is always giving him orders and treating him more like his bitch rather than his partner or an equal. And this is where Tariq really needs to make Braden see the bigger picture, especially because Tariq has been more open and honest with Braden this season. It's more the other way around, where Braden's not being honest with Tariq, which of course is because of Kane's manipulation. And this is why Kane really is forcing Tariq's hand here, because if they do find the badge first before law enforcement do, or even if law enforcement find it, Tariq will know that Kane was behind it all, and he definitely doesn't want to go up against Tariq St. Patrick. Now we all know Tariq doesn't kill if he doesn't have to, and he doesn't go against the Tejadas, because all we've seen is him helping them and it may even stem from how he contributed towards the demise of his own family. He doesn't want to do the same or see the same with the Tejadas, which is why he's helping Zeke, and also because the greater good is if he helps Zeke, he helps himself. But Cain really is forcing Tariq's hand here. Let's not forget, Monet needs Tariq because he's the only one who's moving Monet's product, which she's getting from Cain, who's getting it from Mecca. Now some of you may be wondering, why does Tariq doesn't just expand and find himself a connect and stop dealing with people like Cain and the Tejadas? And this is because Tariq doesn't have the capabilities right now. He's managing what he can, trying to keep his record clean, get his schoolwork done, have a love life, as well as moving weight, and essentially stay invisible, exactly like a ghost. And his system allows him to do this, except Cain is making life really difficult for him. And even though it seems like Cain is winning right now, we have to remember, in power, nobody ever got the better of Ghost, and in the end, although he lost some battles, he always won the war. And one example, if we were to rewind it back to power, was with Greg Knox's murder, how Mike Sandoval planted the murder weapon in his office. We saw him fight this and win with Joe Proctor and Terry Silver by his side, and I'm using this as an example because it's similar to the situation Tariq finds himself in, with Cain planting the badge in his room. Now this is in Tariq's blood. He's a son of Ghost and he's a St. Patrick. He's been through a lot in his life. He's learned a lot from Ghost, Tommy, Kanan, and Tasha, and Cain really has no idea who he's going up against. And this is why I think Cain has sealed his own fate. Even though Cain is wising up himself, Tariq has and always will be smarter than Cain, and he really will find a way for this to come full circle on Cain. But I do think things will get a lot worse for Tariq before they start getting better, and before he really has to think, what would Ghost do in this situation? Because the issues that Tariq has, he still owes the favour to Rashad Tate, where he promised him that he'll get the information on Sweeney. There's also the watch that Lauren has, and he knows Rolexes don't tick, because he's got his own Rolex collection, which he inherited from Ghost. So I think he could use this recording device to his advantage, but that's only if he's realised what it is. But he also has all these other issues with his fight against Grandma Estelle, fighting for custody of Yaz, and now Kamal Tate has found Jabari's novel, which was copied from Tariq's essay. So we're going to see Kamal Tate looking very closely at Tariq. So it's safe to say things will definitely get worse for Tariq, and episode 4 was just setting things in motion for all the chaos to come for Tariq. So with more chaos will come with him needing more help, and he'll need the help of a lawyer as well at some point. And could this be the reason why we see him approaching Tamika at some point this season? But the question is she willing to work with a monster like Tariq? But all of this circles back to Cain. Tariq is definitely going to have to move on Cain because he can't be trusted. Whether he put the badge in Brayden's drawer or Tariq's, it doesn't matter, because Monet told Tariq that if Cain moves on him again, then he can protect himself, because this is the streets and you have to protect yourself at all times. And it is what it is, and she'll hold nothing against him. And Tariq also did tell Monet that he's the only one that she can trust out of all of her kids, which is true. We've seen Diana, Drew, and Cain move against Monet's wishes, except Tariq. So for me, Cain has signed and sealed his fate. It's only up to Tariq to deliver it, because there really is only one winner in this war. Cain may win a few battles and we may see Tariq getting arrested, but Tariq will always win the war, because he's a St. Patrick and he'll tap into his inner Ghost and realize what Ghost would have done in this situation. And this is exactly why ghosts never die. And that's where I'll leave this one. So drop all your comments down below on Cain's fate and Tariq facing more troubles before he unleashes his inner Ghost. Drop all your comments down below, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.